What up, everybody? Welcome to the Damn Dude Podcast.
Damn, dude.
Welcome to episode number 4, season 2. What is up, my Damn Dude family? For those of you guys new to the family, because this is some family type shit, meaning if you're part of the Damn Dude Podcast family, gang, squad, clique, whatever you want to call it, welcome. This is a show about self-understanding where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
We are here to help educate, impact, and entertain all at the same time. Hopefully give you a new perspective and way to think, or, you know, just have a fucking good laugh or something. Excuse me. So, today what we're getting into, a lot has been going on. So I guess let's kind of pick up where we left off on the last episode, where had the sheriff come to the door and all this fucking bogus shit. So I had my meeting with the fucking child service people, and it was cool. It was actually, the lady was really fucking dope and was really cool, and you could tell she really fucking cared. So if you guys want all that drama and all that shit, go back to the last episode, episode 4, season 2, and you can go check that out. I don't really know what else to say about it. So other than in this episode, we're going to really dive into overthinking and why does it happen, how to undo it, what to do with it, and how we can actually use little tricks and tips to take our overthinking and bring us to great places and solid ideas about what we really want, rather than having our overthinking lead us down a fucked up rabbit hole of confusion, right? Because I'm sure we've all done that, and that's not fun. Like that, and a lot of these questions and things that were given to us from our plug, what up, plug? Thank you. Really encapsulate a lot of cool shit. So what I figured I would do, rather than kind of just give you each little thing we're going to talk about, this is really just a whole fucking roadmap and guide and blueprint to overthinking. Now, keep in mind, I'm no professional. I'm just some fucking dude with some experience who talks my shit. And yeah, which actually, I took a emotional intelligence test today. That was pretty fucking dope. For those of you that don't know, it's the difference between, like, we are all familiar with our IQ. That's basically our level that we are able to interpret and take in information at, and we are born with that. And we can't really do anything to adjust our IQ. But what we can do is we can actually tweak and adjust our EQ, which is our emotional intelligence. So that's the intelligence that you have when it comes to your emotions, people skills, your feelings, how we relate to people, you know. There's a lot of interesting stats. I'm actually reading this book called Emotional Intelligence 2.0, and they really fucking get into it. It's pretty dope. I'm excited to keep reading it. It's really good. So let's just fucking get right into this without further ado. I don't really know what ado is. Like, I would always think that's like Mountain Dew. Like, hey, pass me a dew, bro. So, anyways, overthinking. Let's talk about this shit. Why are some of us chronic overthinkers and can't seem to manage our thoughts? Is there a psychological reason? Now, with the psychological reason part of that, I don't really know because I'm just not that smart. But but as far as the other part of this question, I got some good shit for it. So, why are some of us chronic overthinkers and can't seem to manage our thoughts? Well, what I believe is that the way that our upbringing occurred, the way that our parents related and listened to us, like, think about this. Who they're listening of, damn, how do I say this? Okay. Who they're listening of us, this sounds weird, but it makes sense. Stick with me. Who they're listening of us creates us to be who we are and how we think. So if you didn't catch that, I know the words are really weird here. How our parents listen to us and relate to us creates who we are and how we think about ourselves. So if our parents relate to us as, man, like this kid's never fucking good enough, he's always just dumb, this kid, he's just never fucking getting it, we're gonna grow up with that way of thinking, and we're gonna challenge that and fall into that, and that's gonna be the way that we relate to ourselves and our lives and our overthinking. So, on the contrary, if our parents think like, man, if their listening of us is, wow, this kid is so intelligent, this kid's so bright, this kid's so creative, this kid is so insightful, then we grow up with a certain sureness about ourselves and a certain certainty about ourselves. So I think it's what and how our parents relate to us, or lack of parents, or whoever our guardian is. I just say parents, just, I don't know. It's the most common thing. I also understand a lot of us don't have parents. So whoever raised us or whoever influenced us, if it was nobody, then at the same time, there was somebody, because you couldn't have gotten fed and made it this far, without somebody or something. You know what I'm saying? So, and it could be you have an imaginary friend or something, who knows? It could go a million different ways. But what I believe and what I've experienced and what I've seen is that how our parents relate to us, who they listen to us as, like I just explained earlier, how and who they listen to us as, kind of creates and shapes and forms that in a big major way. You know what I mean? So I think when our parents raise us with positivity and a certain level of certainty, and in a way where we have reassurance about ourselves, where we don't really have to second guess, am I good enough? Am I worthy of this? Like those types of things, we don't necessarily have to overthink a whole lot, I guess kind of looking at this from, a psychological point would be, in my opinion, if you have something major happen to you, if there's major trauma, a major event, major things that cause some sort of psychological trauma or damage or something of that sort, then that can kind of lead us to be overthinkers as well. So then the next, I always like to look at like all three sides of a coin, because there's the top, bottom, and side. There's always three. There's not two sides of a coin. And then, so what just popped in my head is like Einstein. Like, was he an overthinker, or like Thomas Edison, or like, Nikola Tesla? Like, were these people overthinkers? Benjamin Franklin, like, or were they, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like certain overthinking can lead you to certain things, but I don't know if they would consider themselves overthinkers or not. I never really thought of that. But what I can say is that I definitely was an overthinker to the absolute max. And I think that, hold on, I don't want to jump ahead of what's going on too fast here. So hold on 1 second. Let me make sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to just put this out right now. So one thing that's really fucking fascinating is overthinking, I believe, comes from a place of not knowing who we are, or what our purpose is, or what direction we want to go in life. Because if we know what we want to do and we know who we are, what is there to really think about? You know what I mean? So I guess it depends on how clear we have our purpose and direction in our minds. How clear do we have that for ourselves? Is the direction we want so clear that the people around us reflect that? I'm thinking of like kids who are raised to be singers or dancers or pop stars or rock stars, or, something like Lil Bow Wow. Like his parents and him, they knew what direction they wanted to go. They knew what direction they were going. They knew what intended outcome they wanted. Any childhood star, really. So it's like, well, all the people that this kid knows and is put around are all in alignment with becoming that superstar, that child star. all the people around him and his family and his whatever, his influences, the people, the circles that they would go in, the schooling that they did, the type of places that they would go to, were all in alignment with getting to a very specific point or place or destination or status or achievement. So I think that when we are able to get clear on who we are and what we want and what direction we're going in life, we're then able to stop thinking and just go. So the next piece of this kind of leads to, well, what are some tools to manage overthinking? Now, because I was an expert overthinker, let me say this. In second grade, I went silent for pretty much the whole year. What do you think I was doing when I was silent? You think I wasn't thinking? All I was doing was thinking, completely overthinking. Because when I was a child, when I was 6, my little sister died, my grandma died, and my great aunt all died in the same month. And that had me confused about life. That had me considering life and death and, like right and wrong and good and bad. And like, why are we here? And it's like, I'd be looking at kids like, you don't even realize you're having fun. Like, you don't even understand you're having fun or not having fun. You're just like here all willy-nilly, So I'm just thinking and thinking and thinking. And then going through school, I'm not necessarily like a loud, talkative person. I know a lot of people, but at the same time, I'm like very kind of maintain this mystic, like I don't know. That's what it seemed like for how some people would react to me. But, they would think I was quiet or stupid or didn't know how to talk or shy. And I would just kind of play along with it because I didn't know what to fucking say because I'm overthinking. My biggest problem when I was younger was I don't know how to just go up and talk to somebody. Like, to me, the impossible is to go up and be like, hey, what's up, man? Like, cool shoes. Like, how's your day been? Like, I have no clue how to do that. Now, I'm fucking getting better, and it's like, now I just kind of say hi to people and I just say whatever the fuck comes off the top of my mind. But that's only via not overthinking. And I think one thing that's happened is as I get more clear on my purpose and what I'm here for, everything I do my best to get in alignment with that. So something that I've been doing lately to get in alignment with the way that I think and to not overthink is to limit the distractions and the things going on my Instagram. I've been going through just fucking unfollowing everything that's entertainment and everything that's like, I'm following all the, and by the way, this current time and day and age, Instagram only lets you unfollow a certain amount of accounts in a day. It's just really fucking weird. You'd think you'd be able to like unfollow some shit, it's like they're forcing you to look at this shit. So it's really weird. But so what I've been doing as a tool is I've been clearing out and I've been putting only things I want to see I only want to see things that are in alignment with the direction that I'm going. If the stuff I'm looking at doesn't have to do with becoming a better speaker, learning more truths about the stuff and not political, but like current events, friends and family who I love, and, I see they're up to good things and they post positive things. And it's like, I want my timeline to only be, I want to like every single thing I see on my timeline. I don't want to see anything where I just scroll past it. I want everything on my Instagram timeline to be so much in relation with podcasting, speaking, saving lives, speaking truth, speaking up, gaining insight, learning history. Like, if it's not in alignment with that, I don't want anything to do with it, really. Not at this point in my life, because that's not in alignment with what I'm doing. So when I see all these trucks and all these skateboarders and surfers and motorcycles and whatever the fuck's on my timeline, not all of them inspire me. A lot of them are just like, wow, that's badass. Like, I don't really want that truck, but I think it's cool. The same way it's like, I don't necessarily want to be a fucking Karate Kid, but watching the show is cool. You know what I'm saying? So what I realized is like, well, I'm looking at all this stuff. It's just entertainment. Like, yeah, there's skills and some cool shit going on, but it's just fucking entertainment after entertainment after entertainment. And it's like, I don't need so much fucking entertainment throughout the day, because all it's doing is it's taking away from the direction of my purpose, and it's causing distraction. And the longer time we spend distracted, the more time we have to spend thinking about the stuff that really matters, which in turn is going to cause overthinking. So the more shit that we indulge in that's not in alignment with our purpose or what we want or what we love or who we want to create ourselves to be, then that's going to all cause overthinking. So a great tool is to eliminate the amount of distractions, so we focus it down and hone in on what it is exactly we want. And when there's something you want exactly, when you're like, I'm going to get that, you don't necessarily overthink. You just think what you're going to do about it. So I think there's a big difference is like, well, are you just thinking about it, or are you thinking about what are you going to do about it? Damn, dude. You know what I mean? That's a big difference. So, excuse me. I just ate dinner a little while ago, so I'm all like burpy. I apologize. That's not a good, I should have planned this a little better. But today has been, I don't want to call it busy. Productive. Today's been a very, very productive day. So, aside from, that's going to be like the first number one thing. The stuff we listen to, that's another thing. I realize I don't really, every now and then, but like gangster rap is like my favorite music of all time. At the same time, I know it's not necessarily good for me because it's promoting a lot of shit that I don't agree with. Sounds cool, feels cool, but I don't really believe that that's right. You know what I'm saying? Or that's actually cool or whatever. So, excuse me. So, a couple things that help is like, I think for a lot of people, if you smoke the right weed, it can kind of help you stop overthinking. For some people, it just makes their brain go crazy, and that's definitely not good for them. So that's interesting because I'm not smoking weed. I don't smoke weed anymore. So I'm like, I don't know, my brain's just in a different place, and it's really fucking cool. Because right now I realize that I'm not necessarily overthinking. All my thoughts are going towards my goals that I want to achieve. So I don't recommend weed for everybody, but for the people that works for, it's a good thing. Just make sure you don't go overboard. You know what I mean? Make sure you're responsible with it. Make sure you act accordingly. You know, that's a dangerous way to do it, but it's a low level way of handling this, but it is, I don't want to say low level. Well, kind of, because it's kind of cheating in a sense. And I have to admit that to myself, even as somebody who smoked for a long time, is like, it's kind of cheating a little bit. Because you're not really have to do any work. It's fun. Stuff tastes better. Stuff's more entertaining, shit like that. At the same time, it does have its healing and properties. And I think it's all, again, going back to like, well, what's the intention? What's the intended outcome? Why are you using this? Are you using this as a sacred thing? Are you using this as medicine for what it's supposed to be used for? Or is it just a crutch or something to hide or something to circumnavigate the actual point of what you want to focus on? I know that it was like that for me in a weird roundabout way without realizing it. It was distracting me from my truest potential, So if we go down, I kind of wrote this list a little backwards, kind of with like the more negative, kind of not negative, but smaller things, like, yeah, weed is good, but it's also not the answer. And I think that's something that's important. The next thing would be meditation. And there's a lot of people, especially in this day and age, where they listen to rappers and it's like, oh, smoking this weed is my meditation. And it's like, no, smoking weed is smoking weed and meditation is meditation. They're definitely two different things. You can do them together and they work great hand in hand, but at the same time, they're different. So meditation is going to be a huge tool for slowing down overthinking. Now, why? Well, I guess it depends on what type of meditation you're doing, but I like to practice Vipassana meditation, and the main focus is on the breathing from your nose, the inhale and exhale from your nose. You observe the sensations of what it feels like when the air goes in and out from your nostrils on your nose. Is one side more stuffy than the other? Does one side breathe better than the other? What does it feel like? Does it touch your lip? Does it not? Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it wet? And once you've got that down, you're starting to become present with your body, because we have awareness of breathing, and that's the pure source of life, is breathing. So when we can meditate and I focus on that, then I switch it from focusing on my breath, because I'm now hyper aware. I don't even want to say hyper aware, but I'm aware of my body, since I'm aware of my breathing, and that allows me to start feeling my body. And then what I do is I start scanning my body from head all the way down to toe, very, very slowly, and then all the way back up again. And what I'm doing is I'm feeling every part of the outside of my body, almost like taking a shower, if the water just slowly dripped down your head. And I'm very, very slow. And then, down my forehead, around my head, and I'm just scanning all the way down. But at the same time, I'm also feeling what it feels like inside of my head and inside. And I feel what my eyeballs feel like. I feel what my eyelids feel like. I feel what my eyebrows feel like. And then I feel what it feels like behind my eyeballs. And then I feel like what my brain feels like sitting in my head, and the parts that I feel touching or not touching or whatever the fuck it feels like. And then I scan down my neck and my jaw and just piece by piece by piece by piece, my entire body. Any pains, I go through and I identify what type of sensation the pains in my body are. And usually what I mean by that is like, what form of nature does the pain identify as? Is it like an earthly heavy pain? Is it like a sharp, like a piercing pain? Is it like a hot throbbing pain? Is it more like a loosey, watery feeling? I don't know. I just kind of identify that. And I feel like when we can identify pains in our body as elements of the world, it's a very powerful way to be in tune with yourself. So I know when I do that, I'm not thinking of anything, because I'm just feeling. I'm feeling my body. I'm feeling life. And I'm just purely experiencing it. And when that's all my brain is focused on, and that's all my body's focused on, and that's what all my breathing's focused on, and that's what all my intention is focused on, where does thinking even fit into the mix? It doesn't. It's the same way as like if you're driving a car really fast, if you're racing and drifting and doing a 360, you're not thinking. But if you're driving slower, you're thinking about it. And in turn, you're not as focused. So kind of the same thing. It's like, well, when you're really in action, there's no time to think. You're just doing. So this is, again, why I think it's so important to know what direction we're going, know what we want. And then our thoughts will naturally start aligning towards that. It's the same way as like, if you want to buy a new car and you're like, oh, I want a white Toyota truck. And then you start seeing white Toyota trucks everywhere. Like, what the fuck, You're not overthinking about white Toyota trucks. It's like, no, I'm going to get one. And because you set out to know that you're going to get one, the stuff that you see, the timeline of your life that you view starts aligning with that. And that's what you start seeing, and you start getting closer and closer to that because you start making it more real, and you're not overthinking about the other stuff. You're just focused on getting that white Toyota truck. So that's everything that you're doing is in alignment towards that. Your work, boom, it's towards that. Your stuff you search on the internet, whatever, boom, it's towards that. So that's kind of the same thing where I'm explaining how I'm narrowing down what I'm looking at and consuming on Instagram is I want all of it to be my metaphorical white Toyota truck. You get what I'm saying?
Damn, dude.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we be right back.
Damn, dude.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back. So to pick up where we left off with this tools to manage overthinking. The next thing after meditation, there's many types of meditation. Another thing, if you're unfamiliar with Vipassana, because it's a long process to learn, it's not just a quick, easy meditation. It's one that takes a lot of practice. Like, we had to spend like 3-4 days just doing the breathing through nose part before we were even allowed to even start scanning our body at all. So it's a longer one to get to. I don't know, just look stuff up online. I'm not a fan of like chant or what's that called? Where you pick a word and you just keep. I don't know. I do, but it's just it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't like it's not as powerful for me. I feel like. What's that word I'm thinking of? It's like you pick a phrase and you just keep mantra. Yeah, I'm not the hugest fan on like mantra type meditations. I think it's a little bit distracting, or like music meditations, stuff like that. Like you should be quiet, in silence, really by yourself. Because if you have that other, I don't know, maybe that's, I'm not clowning it or downing it. I'm just saying for me personally, having the music, it's a distraction. And I feel like I'm beyond the point to where I need a distraction to not have my thoughts go everywhere. So I think it's just better to practice it a little bit more hardcore if you can. I understand some people can't even sit with themselves for like 2 seconds or even a minute. Like some people cannot sit with themselves for an actual minute. And, that's, I mean, it's not really fine. I was going to say that's fine. I mean, I guess it is because you got to start somewhere. But like, as long as you're willing to grow and work and like try to transform beyond that, then cool, So the next piece of it I would say is, and this is almost a cheat too, this kind of ties into, well, not really. Because I was going to say weed and meditation could fall in this as well, but, excuse me. Nature. Nature is so often the answer to stop overthinking. I had all this drama going on with my kids and this whole court thing and all this bullshit. And when I'm sitting at home, my brain just starts stacking sad with angry, with upset, with disappointed, with worry about the future, with random. That's overthinking, right? Like what I just described, that line of thinking is the process of how overthinking goes. So by the end of that, I'm like sitting here just fucking, what's that word? Toiling over some shit that didn't even have to do with the point. You know what I mean? And it's like anything that you fear, and this is from a song, I forget exactly. Anything that you fear, it isn't now and it isn't here. Anything you fear, it isn't now and it isn't here. You know what I mean? Anything you're scared of, it's not. Well, sorry, let me say that. Most of the time, when we're actually scared of something, it's not the actual thing we're scared of. You know what I mean? So, like, let's take, for example, like, somebody's about to punch you in the face, and this is a big motherfucker, and you feel scared because he's threatening you and you're about to get punched. What are you actually scared of? Think about it. A big-ass dude, whether you're a man, female, whatever, a big dude's going to come punch you. Now, I'm a dude, and I'm, relatively tough, and I'm not big, but like I'm a big enough dude. I'm 6 foot, like 160 something. Like I can hold my own, you know what I'm saying? But still, somebody bigger than me is going to come up and punch me in the face. There's some sort of fear, but what is it? You know what I mean? So I'm thinking of it, it's like, well, I've fought people bigger than me. I've kicked their ass. I've had whatever happened, but what is it that I'm afraid of? Am I afraid of this person? Am I afraid of getting punched? Am I afraid of getting in trouble? Am I afraid of getting hurt? Am I afraid of what? You know what I mean? Like, what is actually the scary part? Now, something that's really fascinating to me is all those things I just listed, I don't think any of those are the real fear. I think getting hurt maybe, but once you've been punched in the face, somebody threatening to punch you in the face again, it's not that scary because you know getting punched in the face is not that bad. I mean, it can be. I'm not speaking on behalf of every situation, but it can be. You know, it can be not that bad most of the time. Most people can't throw a proper punch. You know, the average dude cannot throw a straight punch. Most dudes don't even know how to hold a proper fist. So what I started, it's like, okay, we start going down this crazy rabbit hole and we start stacking all these different fears. And it's like, we don't even know what we're afraid of. So what I believe is that I think a lot of times what we're really, really afraid of is that threatening person triggered something from your past to where you felt scared and helpless when you were way younger.
Damn, dude.
So if you think about it, like what we're actually afraid of is not necessarily in the present time because it's not here. You know, what you're afraid of isn't here and it isn't now. So even if that dude's about to punch you in the face, it's not the guy you're afraid of because if he were to talk to you nicely, you wouldn't be afraid of him. If he was going to punch somebody else in the face, you wouldn't be afraid of him. So it's not necessarily punching in the face that's scary or the individual that's scary. It's more so that this person reminds you of something or somebody or some potential thing that you've created in your head for so long, but you couldn't have created that thing in your head for so long without something happening in the first place to plant that idea in your head. So what I realize is if somebody's scary to me or somebody's a bully, it reminds me to the times where I got in trouble and my dad yelled at me or like something like that. You know, it's like I was scared to get in trouble by my dad just because it's like, you know, nobody wants to. And it's scary to get in trouble by your dad. So kind of taking okay, so my point was, it isn't now and it isn't here. The fear doesn't even live in real time. The fear lives in the past and the future. It's like, well, I've been punched before, it hurts. And if he punches me, then it's going to hurt a lot. Neither of those are in present time. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to kind of think on it some deeper shit to really get that. So, and because like I said, like if, you know, those of you guys who really listen to the show, you guys know my whole thing is to simplify. And if we're talking about simplifying our fear and how it relates to overthinking and being that it's not, the fear is not here and it's not now, it's from the past and you're worried about that past thing happening into the future again, like we've talked about in some of these other shows. So, when you go outside, when you change your scenery, when you indulge in nature, the overthinking kind of just stops. So, for me, whenever I start thinking myself into a hole, immediately go change the scenery. Immediately as soon as I catch it. And that's my number one thing is when you feel like shit, do something different. When you start overthinking, do something different. Because that means we're not clear on where we're going and what our direction is if we just sit there and have to think about it and think about it and think about it. And I think overthinking is a byproduct of fear because there's something we're afraid of. Maybe it's the unknown. Maybe we're afraid of our true power. Maybe we're afraid of our potential. Most of us are. Most of us are afraid of our true power and our true potential and our true greatness. Most of us are afraid to be the person that other people see in us. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, dude.
So, kind of following along with the next thing is like, well, do something different. Go fucking in nature. Go work out. Go exercise. Go ride a bike. Go run. Go skateboard. Go climb a mountain. Fucking go outside. Those are the things we have around here, you know? So that's what I do. Go to the beach. Go surfing. Go to the lake. Go to the mall. Just do something where you're going to put yourself in a different headspace because it's going to force you to do that. So there's the thing is if you don't know your direction, then it's kind of hard because you don't know what to even do. So for me, if I know, like for me, I'm on day 64 of 75 hard. I know I want to challenge myself and I want to improve myself and get 1% better. And running up the mountain to go on a hike is going to provide that for me. So I'll go do that. That's in alignment with my direction. So like I was saying earlier, when we're clear on our direction and all of our activities are in alignment with that, it's like this automatic thing happens to where the overthinking turns to, whoa, I'm overthinking. I need to go run. Whoa, I'm overthinking. I need to go skateboard. Whoa, I'm overthinking. I need to record a podcast. Whoa, I'm overthinking. I better make some phone calls. You know what I mean? So, moving on to the next thing, the question is this, I don't even know if there's a question, but, or if I just wrote down a statement, but overthinking can lead to so much, oh yeah, this is dope. Overthinking can lead to so much focus on one thought. And that one thought can become our one conclusion and miss other possible contexts.
Damn, dude.
Yo, that's deep. You might need to go rewind that. I'm not going to repeat that again. Dude, and that's so true. You know, overthinking leads to one conclusion. This person hates me. They don't love me. They don't like me. I'm a piece of shit. They're a piece of shit. They're such and such is evil. Oh, this is the president's fault. This is the governor's fault. This is the whoever's fault. It's like, no, stop. All of that is a product of overthinking. So, yeah, absolutely. When we think too much and we spend way too much time without a clear goal or destination, then we're just fucking spinning in circles because we don't really know what to do about it, you know? So I believe that context is so much when it comes to life and happiness and succeeding and just having it, to not be stuck in a fucking circle of shitty thoughts, you know? So when we can recontextualize our thoughts, for me, my new context of overthinking is, oh, I need to go do something. So to me, that's what I've rather than making overthinking mean, oh, I'm an idiot, I'm not good enough. That was what it would always, like, at the end of me overthinking, it would always have to do with me not being good or smart enough. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or some variation of that basically is just describing that. So at the end of every single overthinking, it's that. And I'm like, or I think I'm so right or I'm so correct and the other person was wrong. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's just my ego. That doesn't mean anything either. Like, fuck. So shift the context. All right, well, now instead of it making me mean, so now instead of overthinking, making it mean that I'm dumb, smart, not good enough, or when my ego kicks in, like, oh, I don't really think I'm better than anybody, but this, well, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, why can't you guys catch up sort of way of thinking? I don't know what not full on like crazy egotistical, but it's like comes from there, you know? I've done a lot of work on that, so that's why I say that like that. So that leads to the next piece of this, which is like, how do we deal with heavy negative emotions? How do we address them in a healthy way to acknowledge it and not let it take us over or control us? So I think, this is interesting because when I took this emotional intelligence test earlier, and when I'm reading this book, it says, like, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was a question asked, how many of us, or how aware are you? I think that's what it is. How aware are you of your emotions when they're happening in real time?
Damn, dude.
I was like, what? I started thinking about it, and basically it said, yo, most of us are not aware of our emotions in real time. Most of us are aware of our emotions after the fact. And there was something like our brain, the way that it, I wonder if I can find this for you guys. Like the way that our brain actually takes shit in. Aha. Okay. Let me show you guys this picture. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I'll read it too. So it's a picture of a brain. So basically, for those of you guys who are familiar, your brain is not your first brain. Your brain is your second brain. Your first brain is your gut, your microbiome. So basically, They describe it as thoughts enter your brain through your spinal cord, which is going to come from your gut first. Um, comes in through your spinal cord, enters your limbic system. That's where you feel. That's where your emotions happen. And that's in the middle of your brain. And then at the front of your brain. So literally think about this. Thoughts are traveling from the back to the front. And thinking rationally is at the very front. So basically it says that we feel the emotion, we feel the feeling, and then the rational thought comes. So, and I guess that's science. So, and I believe that. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You know, it's like somebody's like, fuck you. It's like, what? Oh, they weren't talking to me. You see that? So that's what that means. You know, it's like somebody's like, man, you fucking ugly piece of shit. And you're like, what? And they're like, oh, like, did your brother take a shit? And you're like, oh, that's not offensive. You see what I'm saying, though? It's like we feel it and then we have the logic. So when it comes to these negative emotions, we feel it. What's the logic after it? So how can we deal with this in a healthy way? I think, well, for one, understanding that that's the way it works is healthy. So I believe that when we can have the thought enter our feeling and the emotion of it, it's a good practice to identify that emotion in real time, because that is a tool for emotional intelligence to move us forwards in the way that we want to move forwards. Because if we can identify the emotion, then boom, once the thought passes through the emotion and it meets the logic and reason part of the brain, they're already met with understanding rather than confusion meeting understanding. It's more like understanding meets understanding. You know, if I feel sad and I bring the feeling of sad to the logic of, bro, you feel sad. That person just said, fuck you. Oh man, you know, or if I bring the feeling of that person said, fuck you to the logic and it was like, oh, they weren't talking to me. You see what I'm saying? It's like we slowly start identifying where and how the feelings and thoughts come in from. And I don't even know if I said this in the beginning. I got really excited when I started this episode. I scored an 85 out of 100 on my emotional intelligence score, which is probably like the highest score I've ever scored on anything. But it was a good score, and it showed me a lot of stuff I have to deal with. And I already knew this about myself, but I was fascinated by how accurate the test was, where it's telling me like, all right, that's good. You get it. You're onto something. You just need help shaping it. So it basically stated that I understand myself really well and my own emotions and thoughts and feelings and my outward presentation and my awareness of other people. But where I need work in is understand, like maybe taking more time to explain why I do things rather than just be like, fuck, you're not going to get it. And I just go fucking headstrong and go straight ahead, right? So it's like, well, you need to take more time to maybe acknowledge how others feel and let people know what you're up to and what you're doing. So that way people aren't just reacting to you, you know? And it's like, if I'm just being that emotion and I'm not really and I'm meeting people's logic with this essentially emotion, like how I just described in the brain, then I have a less chance of being understood. So if I can kind of fine tune that and sculpt and craft, that'll help me with being compassionate when I listen to people. That'll help me with being compassionate when I respond to people. So reading books and doing all of these, and meditation, nature, having a clear goal, these are all going to be great things to help us deal with heavy and negative emotions and having it not control us, because we're understanding that that's what's going on, and that's the nature of heavy emotions, is to confuse us and is to have us stuck and is to have us not take action, and is to distract us from who we know we are and what we're capable of and what it is that we really fucking want. You know what I'm saying? So another tool and way to practice this, like I've said in previous episodes, is for me, I would set a timer and I would be like, all right, I'm in a cool mood. I don't necessarily feel good or bad or whatever, but like I'm present. And then I would be like, all right, I'm gonna set a timer. Here's fucking 30 seconds. Here's a minute. Here's 5 minutes. And I'm gonna take the time to feel like shit and explore these thoughts as far as I can. As soon as the alarm goes off, I'm coming back and I'm going for a run. I'm going for a bike ride. I'm going to fucking make lunch. I'm gonna go whatever the fuck you have to do or you want to do for that day. Make sure you go do that shit when your alarm goes off because you got to come back. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that I just kind of discovered on my own and I just started practicing. I made that up and I just started doing that for myself. And I would just go back and visit and I would just sit there and be like, man, this feels like shit. All right, keep feeling it. Keep feeling it. It's the same thing as like just one more push-up, one more squat. You're holding a plank. You got 30 more seconds. Just keep going. Tough it out, bro. You know you can make it. It's that same feeling, but it's the mental part of it. You know what I mean? If you took away the physical part of doing a plank for a couple minutes and you were only left with the mental part, consider how hard that is. You know what I mean? It's sort of the same thing. Well, it's like kind of completely the same thing. So it's like we respond to a lot of physical things. So when we can go physically be in different places and areas and do different things, then life will respond to us in such a way. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude.
So that's a helpful tool. And basically what that's doing is meditating. That's all it's doing. You know what I mean? It's like I'm setting a time. I'm going to stop and just be here for this amount of time. And then when it's done, I'm going to go do this. Boom. There's another clear example. Another clear. Here's another example of being clear on your goal and your focus. You see what I'm saying? So knowing your goal and knowing where you need to go is not that big of a thing. If all I know is I'm going to sit here and feel like shit for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 1 minute, whatever, an hour, whatever, and then I'm going to go for a skate, a run, a hike, a jog, a workout, take my kids to the park, whatever the fuck you like to do, go do that. That's a clear plan, a clear direction of where you're going and what you're doing. And that's a byproduct of boiling down things to the smallest degree so you can understand it.
Damn, dude.
I hope this is making sense to you guys. I really hope you guys are with me because to me, this is some really deep shit. So I hope I'm doing this message and the depth of thought of these questions justice. And that's why I love these questions, man. They're so good because I so relate and I understand that like emotions, male or female, is hard to deal with. We don't understand them. It's so confusing. And it's like I said, I'm no expert. I just understand that I understand when my feelings and my emotions pop up. And then I kind of understand what to do with them at that point. It's like, well, I feel sad right now. Okay, what's the right thing to do when you feel sad? What would I tell my kid? What would you tell a little kid if they felt sad? What would you say? If you're, if your kid, your nephew, your niece, your little sister, your little brother, whoever, your students, whoever, some kid, your friend's kid, whoever, came up and was like, I feel sad. What should I do? What would you tell them? They came up and said, I feel mad. What would you tell them? The thing is, whatever you tell them, you have to take your own advice. Otherwise, it's lying and it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've had students be like, I hate you. And I'm like, dude, that's cool, man. It's totally okay to feel that way. But you know what? Let's just get the job done and let's have some fun and let's see if we can turn that around. I don't want it. I hate this. I hate you. That's totally okay to feel that way. But check it out. Do I speak to myself with that same compassion? I don't want to do this. I hate this. Calvin, it's okay. You can do this. It's all good. You'll work through it. We don't talk to ourselves that way. Not all. I mean, some of us do, but it's practice. But you see how powerful that is? Would you like? So I think that's something that's important to ask is like when the heavy negative emotions are so much, what would you tell a child? Whatever you would tell that innocent child, tell yourself, apply it, believe it, and do it. You know, it's okay. Why don't you go outside and ride your bike? Yeah, motherfucking adult, go outside and ride your bike. Oh, shit. That's some real shit, though, dude. That's some really, really real shit. I feel sad. Go play your guitar. I feel like shit. Go for a run. I feel this. I'm sad. Go to the mall. Go meet friends. Go talk to people. Go do something. Change your scenery. You know? Whenever I was being restless and I was being an asshole at home, my mom was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, go outside. Go play. Where's your friends? I'm like, I don't want to. Cal, stop. You know, go see if such and such is home. I'm like, the moment I step out the door, I completely let go of the problem, the frustration, the pent up anger, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it works. So we're gonna take a quick crepe break. That was almost like, what does it sound like? Man, I want a crepe. That sounds good. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
What up, everybody? We bike. What's cracking in your Cadillacin'? So, yo, we're on fire like some used condoms from Drake right now. Yo, that's crazy, dude. Okay, because I kind of intend the show more for the sake of history rather than like present time. Drake, I'm sure you guys know who Drake is. He was like Michael Jackson of our time. He's like a huge pop star. Everybody listening right now is like, ha, so funny. But in 100 years from now, it's important. It might be important that I describe this. Like I said, this show is really for like future generations. If it happens to benefit people in this lifetime, cool. But my clear goal and intention is that my great grandkids will listen to this and hear this and be like, yo, great grandpa was fucking sick as fuck. He was funny and he fucking spit some real shit. So that's why I do this. So Dre, oh yeah, duh. This was not part of my topic at all. I don't like talking about current events, but Drake, he's the most famous musician of our time today, and he basically hooked up with some Instagram model. Instagram is this app, is this thing we would play on our phone. It's social media where we can connect different people, whatever. This is so funny. So dude hooks up with this chick. Bang, bang, boom, boom, hubba, hubba. He let his hotline bling and basically busted in a condom, throws it in the trash, and pours hot sauce inside the condom. This skeeza ass girl, supposedly, this is the story that's floating around the internet. She goes and tries to empty the condom into herself to have his baby, and there's motherfucking hot sauce in the condom, and she's like, oh, ah! Yo, she put too much salsa on her taco. Oh shit. You ever done that where the sauce was just too hot? You're like, I need a fucking different taco, bro. Like I can't. Oh man, she baked her clam, dude. She baked her fish good. That was that's what she gets, dude. Like that's so the funny part. I mean, I don't think that's not necessarily. It's funny, but it's not funny. She's trying to sue him for this, and the story's like Drake put hot sauce in a condom, and I'm gonna sue him. Like, hold on a minute. You can't just leave out the part where you tried to fucking turkey baste yourself with. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, so nah. Anyway, for real, dude. What the fuck? Like people, yo, we got some fucking twisted people out here, dude. I'll tell you what. So to all the younger kids, life's probably gonna be all fucking just this amazing utopia, and you're gonna look at like, what the fuck were they doing? Trust me, I get it. A handful of us know, a handful of us in this day and age and time, like, get it. Most of us are fucking clueless and brainwashed and so fucking lost. So, anyways, let's get back to this and why this fucking show is so important and these real ass topics. You see that bullshit I just spat off? It's funny, you know, it's entertaining, but like our whole world lives for those stories and those things, and it's like we skip over the depth and beauty of being a human by going so much in entertainment. I was thinking of making this like a very entertainment sort of show for a while, and I was like, nah, man, like I know I can be funny and I know I can turn that shit on, but there's just more important shit to be talked about. I mean, for some people, that's the most important shit. Anyways, emotions and mental health is way more important. I promise you that. I put any money on that. I put anything on that. So, if these emotions are if the heavy and negative emotions are healthy and necessary to feel and experience, how do we feel it without? How do we feel it all without taking it too far? You know, because it's healthy to feel this, how do we feel and experience it all without taking it too far? Well, I think it kind of was answered in the last question, which is like the practices of how to do it, and then setting the intention of I'm gonna go think too much right now. I'm gonna go off the fucking deep end with my thoughts, but for 3 minutes, but for a minute.
Damn, dude.
There's so much magic in very simple, disciplined tasks. When we just do simple tasks, it's the small little tasks that compound time over time, day after day after day after day after day, that equal the actual result. A lot of people have this way of being and living where it's like, we want to, like, let me give this example. I've never actually put this into words or said this myself, but basically it's like, think about it like this. You don't get serious about your health until it's too late most of the time. Like, a lot of people don't start taking their health serious until they get sick. Now, they could have been eating good and exercising and being healthy this whole time and never have gotten to this point of being overweight, sick, whatever the fuck. But all of a sudden, as soon as it happens, it's like, no, I'm so determined. I'm losing 200 pounds. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to do this and that and this and that and all this stuff. And then as soon as I go, oh, you know what? Actually, it's not a heart attack. You just kind of had like a weird thing happen. You know, you're going to be fine. And then all of a sudden you go home and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm good. You know, I'll just have a couple more hamburgers. I'll just have a couple more French fries, have a couple more desserts, pizza, this and that, and kind of keep continuing on with that until something major happens. And then you're forced to do it. And then when we're forced to do it, we want it to happen immediately. But that's not how the fuck it works. We don't get to go from 0 to 100 back to 100 to 0. You literally have to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And by the time you get to 100, what's your 100 going to look like? Because every day that goes by, one more number goes. So it's these tiny little things that matter. So that's why I'm so big on practice gratitude. Practice what you're grateful for every single day. A minimum of 3 things every morning, every night. I've been doing that. And sometimes, I'll be honest, there's a bunch of times I miss my night ones where I fall asleep or something, but I do my best. I literally have alarms fucking going off. They just went off a little while ago. And I started a book where I write 10 things I'm grateful for and why. And that's been really fucking powerful. I've been doing it for 3 days in a row now. And it's really fucking cool, man. I think I'm going to start sharing them more on my Instagram daily because I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of weird if I say certain people and stuff because it's just really it's like, I don't know if people want to be put out like that, but yeah, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so I think that's a good way to practice all of this without taking it too far is to set up and establish daily habits where I'm going to do this, 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 and I'm going to do this. And you basically just don't stop until you've done all those things. And some people are like, that's robotic, whatever. No, it's not. Like, you're a human. Having a set plan is not robotic. It's having a set plan. That's called being responsible, And when we can be responsible in these certain ways, we don't have to take our thoughts too far because our clear goal and what we're doing and what we're accomplishing and where we're going, whether it be for the day or in the grand scheme of life, it's clear. So do that. There's no overthinking when you're doing that. You know what I mean? Think about this. Think about when you don't want to work out or exercise. How easy is it to waste an hour or 2 hours not wanting to do it? And then you work out and it was only an hour workout and you're like, I could have been done 3 hours ago. What the fuck was I doing? You see what I'm saying? It's like because maybe at that point you lost focus on what the point of you going to the gym is. It's for my health, it's for my kids, it's for my future, it's for my heart, it's for my lungs, it's for my all these things, right? But when you lose focus on that clear goal, that clear direction, we spend this time doing the stupid thing and not just doing the simple thing. You know what I mean? It's so much simpler to just go to the gym. Don't think about it, just go, or remember what the fuck the point of it is. And then you don't have to think about it because you're already going to be there. Well, I want to play with my kids in fucking 10 years from now. I want to be able to be running up and down the slides. I want to be able to be jumping at the trampoline park. I want to be able to be skating on my skateboard. I want to be able to be surfing and keeping up with my kids. Whatever the fuck your thing is, Whether you want to be the best athlete at what you're doing, you want to be the whatever, right? Make it clear and just do that. And when we have more than one thing, it kind of forces when we have more than one very intentional thing to do, when we've got at least 5 a day, there's something psychological that I forget where I learned, but it's been proven that if you've got at least 5 things and you check off those 5 things in some way, shape, or form for the day where you actually mark it off, we start identifying with ourselves as winners and winning our day. And when we start identifying with ourselves as winners and people who win our day, your thinking starts being like, well, how can I win this? How can I win that? Rather than, oh, why should I do this? I don't want to, blah, blah, blah. What's this and that? You know what I'm saying? So that's what's really important, is to get very clear on what the fuck we're doing and why we're doing it. And then when we get stuck, just go back to the why. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude.
Because the why is always going to be bigger than the physical shit right in front of you. So I like this one a lot. Moving on to the next thing. Why is it seen as a negative when it's just part of being human? I guess kind of it's more so the negative and heavy emotions. Why is it seen as negative to go and feel those and to experience that and to get stuck in this overthinking and all of that? Well, I think it's negative to go and view and explore your emotions because a lot of us do it irresponsibly. And this whole stigma we have for men is that we're tough and we're this and we're that. Dude, there's one thing I learned. I actually learned this today. How perfect. I learned that the Spartans. Now, a lot of us will agree that the Spartans were some of the most ruthless, toughest, just badass in that sense, motherfuckers that fought and lived and whatever, right? The Spartans were fucking G. Whether you agreed with them or like them or not, you know they're fucking G. So what the Spartans would do is after, there's more to the story, but I'm saying this the very quick, compressed version, is that they would literally have a whole day after battle to where they would cry and scream and just wallow in their emotions, and they would call it I forgot what they called it. I don't know, but it's basically like a feel fest where it's like you need to release and feel all the shit you just went through, let it all out, because that's the only way you're going to be strong again to fight the next war. That's the only way you're going to be able to take on the next day, the next life, the next, going home to your wife, going to have to fight more people, whatever the thing is they have to do. They're mentally and emotionally and absolutely physically ready. You know what I mean? So it's weird because it gets looked at this fucked up thing. And I think that because it's healthy and necessary to feel through our emotions, how it kind of gets a weird rap, especially by men, is because of our egos. Like men and a man's ego is oftentimes so fucking big that it can't see past itself.
Damn, dude.
Like, it really cannot see fucking past itself. And when you can't see past something, it's either going to motivate you or make you quit and make you scared. Now, two fucking weird and funny ass examples just popped up for me. If you cannot see around something if you can't see around something, you're either going to stop and be like, we shouldn't go check that out. Or you're going to be like, what's around the corner? What's around the corner? So the first two things I think of it is, okay, we'll say the least funny one first. So if you can't see beyond yourself, the first thing I think of is riding a motorcycle around a mountain or driving like a fast car in the mountains, to where you have to look beyond the turn. And looking beyond the turn is what makes a lot of people crash, because they don't know how to do it, and it terrifies them that they can only see 6 feet at a time and not their usual 100 yards at a time. So when you're rounding a corner, fucking doing 100 miles an hour or whatever, and you can only see 6 feet at a time because of the curve of the road in the mountain, you have to trust that the road is still going to keep curving around that mountain at the angle that it appears to be at, right? And that could be scary. And when that's scary, people will drive really fucking slow through the mountains because they're only seeing 6 feet at a time. They're not seeing what's around the corner that can't be seen yet, so therefore it's fucking scary. And that's basically our ego is like, we can't see beyond ourselves, so it's scary. So we slow down, we make excuses. It's dangerous and blah, 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 whatever the fuck excuses. Now the next thing, if you can't see beyond yourselves, I think of the example of being so fat that you can't see your own dick. Now, I've almost been that fat. Almost. But dude, that's either gonna piss you the fuck off or motivate the fuck out of you. Because as a dude, if you can't see your own dick, you're not doing very well. Even if you got a tiny dick, dude, that's still not good, And it's if you got a huge dick and you can't see it, then you probably really got a problem. But you get what I'm saying, though? It's when you can't see beyond yourself, when you can't see your shit, you're going to get scared and slow the fuck down and start making excuses, which is going to be of our ego. And because humans are meaning-making machines, what do you make that mean? So it's the combination of where our ego meets our meaning-making machines. So that's the difference between humans and animals and the rest of nature, is that humans, we try to continuously make meanings out of shit, and animals in nature just are. They just exist. They just be. They're just there. You know what I mean? So when we assign meaning to these things, we go, oh, I can't see my dick. I'm a fat piece of shit. So you go eat more pizza and whatever. Or you're like, I can't see my dick. I need to stop being a piece of shit. I'm better than this. I'm gonna fucking see my junk again. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get inspired. Or I think of like racing a motorcycle or whatever. It's like, all right, I got around that mountain. I got around the turn. I got around the apex, whatever. How can I get around it faster? How can I get around it with better lean angle? How can I get around it with better contact patch of my tire to the floor? Do I need more or less air pressure in my tires to do this? Should I stiffen or soften my suspension? Because when you hit the turn and the lean angle, how your suspension is reacting is a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? And because we're dealing with something that's either 6 feet at a time or like this infinite amount of space around the turn that you actually can't see yet, but you're trusting is there, that's a big difference. So when we start talking 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, that's a big deal when we're talking in terms of your vision flipping from 6 feet to 100 yards and back and forth or whatever, right? Now, I'm like a very decent motorcyclist. I'm not fucking whatever, but I'm also not like some putz and you're not going to just fucking dust me, like, so I've had that experience and I've crashed my bike in a turn and all of that. And it's like, okay, I see that my eyes fucking stopped. My eyes fixated here. Target fixation is a very real thing in motorcycling or driving fast things. Now, I realize as I'm saying this too and describing this as target fixation is a real thing when it comes to thinking too deep and when it comes to emotions. If you fixate on one specific target, you're going to end up there. That's what that means on a motorcycle. Like if you're hitting a turn or in a car or whatever, any, I guess, sports where you're going fucking fast, if you need to continuously be looking around the turn in order to be able to go fast around it. You cannot go fast around the turn if you're fixated on the apex of the turn over here. You're fixated on the spot of oil on the road or the patch of dirt or sand that's in the road. If you focus on the sand, you're going to hit it and you're going to fucking slide in it. If you focus on the dirt, the rock, the tree that's over there, whatever, if you focus on how scary it is, you're not going to make it around. I've done this the right way and the wrong way. Like, you can take my word for this. I've paid very expensive physical and monetary costs and emotional shit to bring this to you. I almost flew off fucking Palomar Mountain doing 55 miles an hour, dude. Like, trust me. Like I said, this is all my own shit. I'm nobody special. I'm just a dude with some experiences. But what I do know is that our ego gets in the way and we start making meaning of shit. And when we can't see beyond ourselves and we can't see beyond our own ego and we can't see beyond our own meaning, boom, we slow down, we crash, we get scared, we can't see our own dick. You feel me? So it's just a weird part of being a human. So I think the less meanings that we assign to shit, we just allow shit to exist. Appreciation really helps do that. Practicing gratitude helps us exist. It helps others just simply exist without having to be like, how come, and blah, 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 all this shit. One thing that I learned is that my ego is to, well, a lot of us, our ego is to help. Our ego is our creativity. Think about it. Your ego allows you to have the audacity to think of something new or different and validate it that is a valid and worthy thought or idea to have. And then to actually go act on it, the audacity of you got to be some kind of into yourself to believe that your ideas are worth anything. You got to be somewhat into yourself to believe that this drawing you drew looks good. You got to be somewhat into yourself to believe that the words you say are powerful and can impact and help people. You got to be into yourself to some degree, right? But I think what happens is some of us will get way too into ourselves, and then we just get lost in then entertainment and distractions, and then the lack of understanding between our emotion meeting our logic, and how this all adds up, and not having emotional intelligence, and thinking that only IQ is what makes us smart. But in reality, it's EQ that makes us smart. It's the emotional intelligence. Reading books and all that, yeah, it makes you smart. Learning information, going to school, all that, it makes you knowledgeable, but that doesn't actually apply to real life experience all the way. You know what I'm saying? It's just like examples and metaphors almost for life and living, rather than, I don't know. I forgot exactly what I was going to say, but when it comes to our ego, most of the time it's not your amigo. But there's a little bit that is. To have the audacity to believe in yourself, to make meaning of something in life and say, I'm going to work towards that, and have the audacity to believe in myself and that this plan can work, and to ask others to support this idea and whatever the fuck I'm doing, it's going to take some ego to do that, So I think before we even move on to our egos, we have to start with practicing being present, having a clear goal in mind. And when we have a clear goal in mind, do it, go for it. Have the audacity to get good, but understand the truth of how good you actually are or aren't. Stay curious, stay learning. That's one thing. And I heard this from Ed Milet, is that he's like, I pick a new word every year, and I do my best to live into that every single year. And I was like, whoa. Because I was like feeling that, but I never put it into words or didn't know how or anything, So I was like, holy fuck. I want to be like the last 3 years, my word was gratitude or appreciation or grateful. It's all kind of the same thing to me. But this year, my word is curious. I want to stay curious as fuck. I want to be able to stay in the inquiry of like, what's this? What's that? I feel like that's going to help cultivate and grow so much youthfulness inside of me, because I went from being this super curious kid to being this like, I know how the fuck like shit is. I know what I'm doing. Childhood's over. I don't need this and that. I'm just fucking watching out for myself. I'm in survival mode. But now I'm going back to being curious. What's this? What's that? Like how little kids are like that. Whoa, where are you from? What are you about? What's your greatest life lesson? Shit like that. I had a conversation with an old ass one. Oh, I didn't even talk about that on the podcast, dude. I'll have to talk about that. But talked about it on my Instagram. Go follow that at Real California Cal. Just like it sounds. So, yeah, man. Make sure make sure you guys practice and understand. Rewind this episode a few times if you need to. Otherwise, leave us a 5-star written review. I appreciate you guys. Anywhere you can find audio podcasts. Fucking love you guys. I need to get my ass to sleep because I'm motherfucking tired. It's like 12:30 and gee. Oh man. So make sure you guys can stay seeing your dick, and don't be a prick. Keep seeing around the corners and meditate. Notice your breath and be kind. Don't be a fucking dumbass. And be pro-freedom, because anything else is not going to age you well. Don't be a fucking idiot. Be smart. Be kind. Love yourself. Love your neighbor. Love your people. And just do good. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day. Much love. Peace.
90 miles push away, and I wanna be here for days. And we serve like 38. Now the sun touches your face, not the beach, not the blue. And the last one to be us too. And it's good, it'll be me and you.
Damn, dude.
dude.